Hello everyone. We're going to continue working with the area of circles. You should have already watched a video on area and circumference of circles. If you still have some questions, it is important that you let me know as soon as possible. So the first exercise is find the area of the circle that has a circumference of 28 pi centimeters. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we are going to draw a circle because we are talking about circles, right? So I am going to draw the circle, and I'm sorry, but this is not easy for me to do on my iPad. And then I am going to draw the radius. And we know that the area of a circle is pi times r squared, right? However, we don't have the radius of the circle to find the area. The information that we do have is the circumference, and we have that the circumference is 28 pi, okay? If you recall, the formula for the circumference of the area equals 2 times pi times r, although you could have also used the other one, which is pi times the diameter. Remember that the diameter is 2 times the radius. So I'm just going to write it down here to make it a little bit easier. And then we have that 2 pi r equals 28 pi. So our goal here is to find the area of the circle. And to do that, we need to first find the radius. And that's what we're doing here. We are going to leave the r by itself by dividing both sides by, think about it, by 2 pi, right? So now we see that the 2 pi cancels with the 2 pi, the pi cancels with the pi, and do we see that we have here 28 divided by 2? So that's going to give you, yes, you're right, the radius is going to be 14 and centimeters, although we're not using that yet. Now, I am going to find the area. I found the radius, so now I find the area, which is, we know that it is pi times r squared. I wrote it up here. The radius is 14, and then I square this. You can use your calculators to find this, but this is 196 pi. And we know that the units of the area are going to be, you're right, squared. Okay, so then the area of the circle, it's going to be 196 pi centimeters squared. Okay, so now in exercise number 2, I am going to work with what we call a composite figure because we have a rectangle. Do you see the rectangle here? I'm going to do the rectangle in red. And we also have a half circle or semicircle, okay? So I need to first find the area, okay? Let me do this first. We first need to find the area. So since we have this composite figure, I am going to divide it in two. The first one is going to be the rectangle, and I'm going to find the area of the rectangle. So if you remember, the area of the rectangle is either base times height or length times width, right? So this one is 20 times 14, and the area of the rectangle is going to be, this is 280. We don't need to use the units yet because we're going to leave that only for the answer. And then now I'm going to find the area of the, okay, maybe I should have done here like a little rectangle. And now we're going to find the area of the semicircle. Okay, that's supposed to be a semicircle. We know that the area is going of the circle is going to be pi times r squared. But think about it. Do you see that there's something off here? This is the area of a circle, the formula for the area of a circle, but do we have the whole circle here? Doesn't seem so, right? So how much of the circle do we have? We actually have half of the circle, right? So then that means that the area of the semicircle is going to be that half of that. Okay? Now, we are talking about this semicircle, and you know how I like drawing things on the side. So what's going on? Okay, so I have this, right? This is my semicircle, or it's supposed to be. Now, I want you to see that the radius is going to be from the center, right, to, okay, whichever of these points. Now, if we go back here, do you see that this here is 14, right? And do you see that this is the diameter? This is going to be the diameter of the circle, of the semicircle, right? So what I want to get to here is for you to notice that the radius is going to be half of this whole thing. Okay, so if that whole thing is 14, I am going to divide it by 2, and the radius is going to be 7. So the radius of the semicircle is 7. Now I'm going to use this information here to find the area of the semicircle. And then this is going to be pi times 7 squared divided by 2. I changed colors without realizing. And then this is 49 over 2 times pi. So guys, I know that I haven't talked about this, but I really want you to just leave the pi there. I want you to get comfortable looking at it. You know that that's an irrational number, meaning that it has infinite decimal places, non-repeating decimal places, but I just like seeing the pi there, okay? Maybe you want to go and divide this number. So this is 24.5 pi, okay? But let's just leave the pi there. And then the units, oh, I am not done because this is just the area of the semicircle, okay? So now I need to find the area of the whole thing, okay? And I'm going to do this in, let's do it in yellow. So the area of the whole thing is going to be the area of the rectangle plus the area of the semicircle. So this is going to be 280 plus 24.5 pi, okay? Now, because we have the pi there, now we cannot add that to the 280. So we are just going to leave it there, okay? And then just because it looks nice, I'm writing this inside parentheses. And because this is area, we know that this is centimeters squared, okay? So this is the total area of this here. Okay, I am going to give you a chance now to work on exercise B. On this exercise B, you're going to find how much string you need to put around this. When we talk about string, when we talk about what is around this, we know that we mean the circumference of the the circumference or the perimeter of the figure. It's around it, right? So now you're going to find the circumference of the semicircle and the perimeter of the portion that uses strings of light of the rectangle. So I'm going to stop it here and we'll continue later today.